So ad networks are also driving growth. Ad networks are potentially the biggest losers of this move, if you like, where the buy side and the sell side assemble around the ad exchange, and where the ad network is no longer the fellas in the middle who sort of, you know, solve the liquidity problem by buying by the bucket and selling by the scoop. They're potentially the biggest losers. But they've also got the best understanding of risk. They've usually been the people in the market longest, if you like, that have understood the trading mindset, the way of arbitrage, the way of using data to extract good performance. So networks are actually in a really good position regarding some technology sets and some skill sets to work in a data-driven, you know, media buying landscape. So what you see, though, is that the networks tend to move either to the buy side or the sell side. A lot of networks here particularly are moving strongly to the sell side. They're really gearing up. They're forming partnerships with ad exchanges. They're changing, upvaluing the inventory, and that's been a really positive move for a lot of them. Others, if you like, are moving across to agencies and rather moving across to the buy side and competing with agencies. It's not so much in Australia, but we definitely see that you know, in other markets around the world. Obviously, technology is driving growth. Technology itself is, if you like, enabling the growth, and DSPs within that are part of the foundational infrastructure of this whole industry. You know, it's why Seth Yates and I that founded Brandscreen, you know, picked a DSP to do this. It's one of the bits of the ecosystem that you know, you need to build first. You need to you need to build an exchange. You need to build a DSP, and then the trading desks and other services, if you like, are built on top of that. You know, and the fundamental job of a DSP is, of course, is to aggregate, to optimize, to execute, and then to report. So, you know, these are the common tasks that you'll find, or the tasks common to every fundamental DSP that you'll that you'll meet in the market. And you know, that means targeting. That means bid management and optimization. That means reporting and data visualization. And I just pulled this out because this will give you a nice view of the typical machine learning curve, right? Machine learning is obviously is a class, if you like, of technologies that allows a system to learn and to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Machine learning is the basis for the optimization that a DSP does. And what you see here is this part of the graph where a lot of money is spent on impressions to learn what works and what doesn't. And after a certain amount of time, you see this classic flattening off of the graph to a high performance, a very low CPA rate. Private exchanges are driving growth. This is one of the ways that publishers are able to come into the market without feeling that they are losing control of their channel. Often entrance into the public exchange is for them a loss of the control that they have within their channels. They feel that making a direct relationship between an agency and a publisher, where they can enforce price floors, where they can enforce rules about which kind of brands can and can't buy. So a good level of controls about the inventory and about the buyer, about the advertisers, is the benefit of a private market. So we see the premium publishers in particular engaging in private markets, because private markets you know, is a critical success factor you know, in getting the brand money in to the ecosystem. As is brand safety. So there are three. I think everyone up on stage today has talked about 3 levels of brand safety, and this is I'm going to be no different. So we in terms of brand safety, which is again a critical element of getting brand dollars in. First of all, the old way of conducting brand safety was basically to work out a blacklist and a whitelist, and then to humanly check those. That still forms a part of the deal. But the most used technique within exchanges, because of the literally millions of sites that are available, is page-level semantic brand safety inspection. So that means that a page is actually inspected in real time before the ad is served. And if it doesn't meet the safety policy of the brand, then it's actually blocked at that point, so it's not served. So that often works in combination with black and white lists. So that means that white lists, if you like, can be very long and then used in combination with semantic brand safety. And on top of that, Brandscreen actually puts a proprietary level of anti-fraud and anti-robot inspection. So we have sort of a triple layer which we work with. And again, without this, brand buys are not going to come into our world. And that's, of course, where a lot of the money that we as an industry want to bring in needs to come in from. So this is critical that we get this bit right. Data is driving growth. So, if we think about all of the discussion we've had today about data, we've been talking about the data from, does third-party data work? Does first-party data work? Well, of course it all works, and it's about how it's used and how it's connected up. All data works incrementally. So all data has a value. Some of it is extremely small, and some of it is extremely big. And it's a matter of valuing data and connecting that data into a system which is meaningful for a trading desk and for an advertiser. So, if you would really call out the main ways that data can find its way into the system, obviously it's site analytics, it's ad serving, it's from the CRM system, and all the others. And I don't think anyone really can say, look, this is what we're doing. This is, we have all of these data points connected into this ultimate system, which just then, you switch on, you go to the beach, and it just works, right? This is part of the future, but really it's, and obviously first-party data is the first thing that we connect into this system. But this is not something which is a future of 2 or 3 years or 5 years away. This is the kind of architecture which every trading desk and every agency needs to come to terms with in the next 12 months. Right? This is a true integration of data, whether you call it a DSP or a DMP. Right? It's just I think it's a little bit of a false line which is drawn between the two. Right? A DSP and a DMP really should be just working simply together. They should be seamlessly working together. I know I'm getting short on time, so I'm just going to flip through this last one. So another thing which will drive it over the next 12 months and 24 months is cross-device execution, right? And to do that, you need to have some kind of anonymous, probabilistic identification of users within the system. So in other words, you need to have a system which says that user over here and this user over there, they're probably the same user, and there needs to be some kind of a way of probabilistically linking those together. And so you end up having a cross-device identification of users. So that is definitely one of the things, particularly as more of the media dollars goes towards, let's call it the smart TV channel. That's going to be more and more important. Semantic is driving growth, certainly at the page quality level. The ability to semantically target page level, particularly user-generated content, is going to be an enormous unblocker of quality of inventory in order to get quality ads into the system. And I think I've got 2 minutes to just say an innovation, right? Innovation from companies like Brandscreen, but innovation across the entire ecosystem is driving growth. So from today, Spot Exchange, Adapt TV, DoubleClick with YouTube and Brightroll, video is available to buy through Brandscreen. which is obviously a great innovation from our point of view. We've just launched a whole bunch of improved pacing controls. We've launched an improved change log, which is extremely uninteresting for anyone apart from our customers out there who will say hooray. And something called Margin Manager, which gives agencies the ability to show their advertisers the screens and switch between their margin and the agency margin, the advertiser margin. So in summary, this is a rich and complex ecosystem. And it's being driven by the enormous number of people in this room, companies across this. I know, it's extremely egotistical, isn't it? I've got Brandscreen kind of taking the whole way. I'm sorry, Mike. Beg your pardon, mate. If I knew you were coming. There is a lot of companies in that graph, right? There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of great work. And we're the beneficiaries of that innovation. You know, and I summarize up this, what's driving growth, as being the innovation. It's the companies in this room, it's the companies across that ecosystem that are driving us to do better and better. It's the openness that we've talked about. It's all of these systems connected together for the first time in a way which is truly, you know, interconnected. It's the transparency, right? We can have more of it, but for the first time we can actually see what we're buying. We can measure it in a reasonably reliable way. We're using technology to achieve efficiency, which is game-changing efficiencies. We're talking about, you know, 30%, 40% off what was the standard only 12 months ago. Really, you know, incredible efficiency gains. And we as an industry are doing it at scale. So that really is, I think, the 5 principles of what's driving growth. And the 6th, I guess, is the people, right? It's the people here. And it's all of us that are helping drive this growth. I mean, you know, we are a relatively small bunch here, but I think this is, you know, amongst us all here are going to be the most influential, you know, and I hope the most prosperous bunch of industry leaders over the next 10 years. You know, this is where media buying, this is in fact where media growth is going to come from over the next 10 years, not just in this country, but around the world, right? So we are really at the beginning of something extremely exciting and very important. So thank you very much.